Stephen Fulton Jr. and Brandon Figueroa, they ran it back for the featherweight title. But if you were expecting fireworks like their first fight, then you might have been left a little disappointed. Instead of a high-volume war like that first fight, basically we got a clinch-heavy battle that left a lot of fans booing by the final bell. But at the end of the day, Cool Boy Steph got the job done and he reclaimed a world title with a unanimous decision victory. And we get ready to talk about what happened and what's next for Brandon Figueroa and Stephen Fulton Jr. Hey, that's what it is. Look, this is serious boxing grind where I give you a quick jab of boxing news from around the world. And look, man, I gotta be honest. The fight between Stephen Fulton Jr. and Brandon Figueroa, it was not the fight that I thought was gonna happen, and it was not the fight that fans were hoping for. Now, their first fight in 2021 saw both of them dudes throwing like 2,000 punches. It was an all-action war where Stephen Fulton Jr. edged out by a majority decision, but this time around, it was a completely different story. I'm telling you, man. From the opening bell, Figueroa, it seems like he was smothering his own shots, right? He kept leaning in. He was tying up with Stephen Fulton, and basically he was neutralizing his own reach advantage. You got what I'm saying? So instead of letting his hands go like he did when he was at 122 pounds, it's like he fell into like a clinch fest with Stephen Fulton Jr., and that slowed the fight down a lot. It was like a grinder. They were just in a grinder. Basically, that's what they were doing. And then like with Stephen Fulton, he did what he had to do. He was using his jab. He was capitalizing on openings. He was landing some of the sharpest uppercuts that was snapping the head of Brandon Figueroa back. I was like, oh my God. But I will say, instead of like pushing the action, he was waiting for chances. He was countering, and that meant basically it was like a long stretch of time where these guys were just in the clinch. You got what I'm saying? But Stephen Fulton, he had cleaner shots, but it was not a lot of super clean punching because Brandon Figueroa, like I say, he was falling into Stephen Fulton and just trying to lean on Stephen Fulton. And it was just, it was different. It was a different fighting style, different game plan. And a lot of the fans in the arena, they were very frustrated with what they saw. You got what I'm saying? The crowd was not happy and they were raining down boos. Look, after round 6, they were booing. To the final bell, they were booing. Now, I will say that Stephen Fulton did a great job of boxing. He deserved the win, but this fight did not leave a positive impression like their first battle did. You got what I'm saying? And Fulton admitted that Figueroa did not fight like he usually fights. You know what I'm saying? He was like, look, he didn't let his shots go like he normally would. Basically, Fulton said that Brandon Figueroa slowed down at 126 pounds. And I said, yeah, that's a very interesting perspective, and I totally agree. And Fulton said basically he capitalized on the fact that Brandon Figueroa slowed down. Now, the judges' scorecards was 116 to 112, and the two other judges had it 117 to 111. Stephen Fulton won by unanimous decision. And what I will say about this fight is that I thought it was going to be different. Now, I'm an individual that I really like boxing. The name of boxing is to hit and not get hit. I like swimming and not getting wet. That's what I like about boxing. I like, the technical, pure, sweet science of boxing. Understanding where you at in the ring, understanding the type of shot that needs to be thrown at the proper time, understanding timing, understanding distance. I really like boxing. Now, a lot of people who are just like, the casual fan, I'm a casual fan, but some casual fans, they just want people going back and forth, hitting each other. Like Figueroa and Pitbull Cruz, they want them just go back and rock 'em, sock 'em robots. Some people like that. Me, I'm cool with watching that, but I really like, a technical breakdown of a fighter doing what he does best. You got what I'm saying? So what I really liked about Stephen Fulton Jr. and Brandon Figueroa, Fulton, he had very crisp shots. He was putting together punch combinations. He was fighting in the pocket, and he was making Brandon Figueroa miss. Now, Brandon Figueroa, he was trying to put Fulton in a grinder, and he was trying to engage in close quarter combat. But man, he was smothering all of his shots. He was clinching so much. It was very, very different. Now, the first fight, Brandon Figueroa, he was clinching a lot then, except he was doing more fighting in the pocket. But this time he was not fighting at close quarters, and it just did not look good. He just looked like an amateur out there. I said, man, this is not the first fight on no level. Stephen Fulton looked sharp. He looked crispy. That's the reason why they say styles make fights, because Stephen Fulton Jr., when they moved up against Brandon Figueroa, he made Figueroa look like he was an amateur. And I was like, wow. Now, Stephen Fulton Jr. did say that the reason why he didn't do so good during his first fight with Figueroa was because he felt drained. He also said that he felt drained when he fought anyway. And his last fight, because he didn't look so well during his last fight. So I see that he may have a valid point, because he was standing up during the rounds, every round. At the end of the round, where the boxers, they sit in the corner, Stephen Fulton was standing up. I'm telling you, man, he was just getting water like he was at a snack bar. Just like, yeah, give me some water. Like he did not, man, his conditioning was out of this world. His endurance was out of this world. So what's next for Stephen Fulton? Hey, you got Ray Vargas, you got Rafael Espinoza, you got anyway, if he moves up, you know what I'm saying? So that's the question. What is next for Cool Boy Steph? You know what I'm saying? So he got a world title back, right? So he could get a unification for the WBO, because the WBO champion, his name is Rafael Espinoza. So he could fight Espinoza for the WBO, or he could fight Angelo Leo. Nick Ball is the WBA champion, so he could fight him. You know what I'm saying? There are so many different avenues and so many different people that he could fight. And now, anyway goes up, guess what? Hey, he could fight him. I'm just saying, he's going to feel better. He's going to feel stronger, because he fought anyway, dehydrated and weight drained, and he just didn't feel really good. Now, as it applies to Brandon Figueroa, I really don't know what's next for Brandon Figueroa, because this is a tough loss. And he didn't dispute, and he wasn't angry. Now, their first fight, Brandon Figueroa was like, yo, you really think you won that? You really think you won that? And I was thinking in my mind, yes, he definitely won that. There is no way you thought you won. I didn't even understand how the judges had a majority decision for Stephen Fulton Jr. I said, look, it has to be a unanimous decision. But hey, it wasn't, but still, Stephen Fulton Jr. won. But, Brandon Figueroa, he got this high pressure, high output style, but it just was not there. And maybe him moving to featherweight, damaged him or slowed him down. You know what I'm saying? So does he stick around at 126 pounds and look for another title shot? Or should he consider moving up to 130 pounds, where his size might be a bigger advantage? You know what I'm saying? Either way, I think that Brandon Figueroa, He's going to go back to the drawing board. He's going to rethink his situation, rethink his approach, maybe get with another team and, you know, get back on the road to try to get back to the top. You got what I'm saying? But hey, it is what it is. Look, Stephen Fulton is the champion right now once again. But the real question is, what's next? Is he going to unify at featherweight, or will a bigger challenger come calling? And can Brandon Figueroa bounce back after this tough loss? Drop your thoughts in the comment section. Did this fight live up to your expectations? Hey, don't forget to subscribe. This is serious grind boxing. Hey, I'm going to talk to you soon.